Welcome to another episode of Fave Five From Fans, the podcast all about favorites. I'm your host, Jamie Ray.
My favorite host.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was kind of, I appreciate that. That's
of 20, my 5 favorites, you're the number one favorite. Yeah.
That's $20 well spent.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
This guy right here, if you don't know already, is Kody Chamberlain.
Hi.
Back from, it's been a while. We talked about, who did we talk
I've been
about?
trying to come on for months and you just won't have me up here.
Well, I can only, it's your birthday and coming up this week, and Christy kind of took me to the side.
Yeah.
And she was like, Kody really wants to come back on the show.
I've lost sleep.
Well, and I know that you're a huge fan of organized crime and mom movies. Mm-hmm. So we did that one, and
yeah, not great.
But I
did
figured
a good job.
It's been a while. I'll give you another shot.
All right. A do-over.
Yeah.
A mulligan.
I'm a good guy.
Okay.
I'm a good guy. And if you don't know who this guy is, okay, he is a genius.
On every level.
On every level. And if you don't believe me, just ask him.
It's true.
He will tell you.
It's a fact. I'm a really big deal.
I tell people all the time, I know Kody Chamberlain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I deny it constantly. Like, do you know? People are like, hey, Jamie Ray says he knows you. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's not true, because I know when I met Bill Sienkiewicz and I said, I knew you.
Oh, okay.
He said yes.
All right.
So, there you go. That was the end.
I'll try harder.
That was the end.
All right.
So, anyway, we have decided to talk about your probably second favorite type of film after mob movies.
Yeah.
And those are heist films.
I love a good heist film.
Okay. What is it that you love about it? Why are we doing this?
To quote the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. Oh, yeah. It's great. It's very satisfying. It's it doesn't always come together, but we try to get it together.
Sometimes it's the journey.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Did the A-Team ever do a heist? I mean, they stole a tank once.
Yeah, all they did was steal stuff. So I used to think they were the good guys, but they just stole stuff the whole episode.
Petty larceny.
I
love the grand theft.
I guess there are technically, I did look it up. There are varying definitions of what's considered a heist and what's not. But by my definition,
which is the only thing that's important,
some sort of a planned stealing event, usually with a group.
Okay.
And it's somewhat difficult.
3 or 4 or more.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a duo.
A team of some kind.
A team of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loosely defined.
I got you.
Yeah. So I love the genre. I love it when the plans come together. Sometimes they don't. Yeah. Makes for good drama.
Yeah. And action sometimes.
Yeah. Really good action. I got a couple really good action ones in here.
Well, cool. Well, as I always do, I invited you to make a list of honorable mentions. Mm-hmm. You decided not to do that, and instead you have a list.
I do.
Of movies that are not going to be
good
included.
Ones. Yeah, some
and
good
a
ones.
Shocker from what
I have
understand.
a shocker. I have one.
Okay.
I have one that's obviously on my list that I didn't put on my list because everyone probably thought that it would be.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're ready,
honorable mentions.
Let's
jump
it out.
in.
Go ahead.
Honorable mentions. David Mamet's Heist. Love it.
Okay.
Really fun movie. Hell or High Water, written by Taylor Sheridan.
All right.
Really fun. Point Break. Great.
Yeah.
Baby Driver. Great.
Oh yeah.
Jackie Brown has a really good heist
that's
sequence.
Not on your list.
The big one that's not on the list is Die Hard.
It's because it's a Christmas movie.
Incredible heist, great Christmas movie. I spoke to Stephen E. D'Souza today. He's a pal of mine.
Drop that.
But I think that everyone would expect me to put Die Hard on my list, and for that reason alone, I didn't.
Well, he's a huge
great movie,
huge fan of the show.
Stephen is, yeah.
He's gonna hear that, and he's probably gonna be.
He's gonna hear that, yeah.
But
it's not on the list because it's sort of the default position. It's
okay.
It's the one that I would probably go to, and everyone else would go to, and so I decided to reach a little bit deeper into the pocket.
I see. Well, you kind of did that with the mob movies. There were some that you left. Left off The Godfather.
That's right. Yeah,
that was obvious choice.
That's right.
That's
the
what
obvious
you're doing.
choice.
You're taking the obvious, and you're going, I'm not doing this.
We're not doing the obvious ones.
I'm over here.
That's right.
You can't see me.
I do still have some obvious ones on the list, but that was the big one. Especially we're recording this as we go into the holidays, and we just watched Die Hard, me and my son, a couple of nights ago. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah,
how about you? What do you got?
Well, I have 2 honorable mentions. The first is, and I know this would probably be a surprise, is going to be Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Okay. It's a great film. Great. It's not even. It's so much more than just a heist. It's all,
Right.
all these other things that go together in it. But
It's a good one.
I do love it, and I love especially everybody talks about the scene at the very end where they're putting everything together from his story, and they realize it's everything
Right.
that you can see from where you're sitting.
That's right.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already.
We're past the statute of limitations on that one, I think.
We really are,
Yeah.
And I love the film, but it is one of those movies that after you've kind of seen it once, it doesn't
work as
unwatchable,
well, yeah.
but it doesn't work as well.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of movies too. They get better upon rewatch. That one kind of doesn't.
It doesn't.
That one doesn't.
Yeah. So, and the other one is one that you may be surprised. I don't know. Is Ant-Man with Paul Rudd.
Okay. Yeah.
So I love this film because he's so much fun.
He is. He's great.
I love the idea how the MCU jumps over Hank Pym and goes straight to Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Which, if you've read the comics, you know that Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man, was a founding member of the Avengers. So it's a really great story about a rehabilitated criminal who was a thief,
right?
Who has to then plan the ultimate break-in to get something that he doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And it ends up being the Ant-Man costume with the Pym card.
That's right.
Luis, I didn't write his name down, but the way he tells the story and how it breaks down,
right,
and everything, I really think, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, that he's a watcher.
Oh, okay.
Because when he tells the story, it's like he's seen and done everything.
I can see that.
So,
Ant-Man didn't even occur to me as being a heist film, but you're right, it absolutely is.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's mostly him doing it, but he does have the team that works with him.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why I chose that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, great. I'm glad you liked it. That's all of our honorable mentions.
Okay.
So I'm feeling like if you're ready, I really want to hear what's your number 5 over there? Oh God, see it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Give me number 5.
Right. My number 5 is Kansas City Confidential, directed by Phil Carlson and stars John Payne, who's amazing.
Okay.
And the other big star a lot of people would know is Lee Van Cleef.
Oh, all right.
From The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
So is this like 70s, 80s?
What year? It's got to be late 40s, early 50s. I can't quite remember the year. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you the quick pitch. The setup is this guy runs a flower shop. He's a flower salesman.
He's a florist?
He's a florist. Okay. Yeah, is that the right? Yeah, okay.
A florist with
So he's a florist. And he's got a truck.
Okay.
And his flower shop is next door to a bank.
Oh.
Every day he rolls in, loads flowers in and out of the truck, gets back in the truck, and goes upon his way. And these robbers, these guys that do the heist, track his truck.
Okay.
They see what's going on. They build an identical truck, and they perform a heist. So the heist is the setup, and he's the victim of the heist.
Okay.
So the police think he's responsible.
Oh.
And so
okay.
he gets in a lot of trouble. He loses his job. His life is kind of ruined. And he decides to go after the guys that robbed the bank.
And that's Lee Van Cleef?
Lee Van Cleef is one of them. There's a team. There's a team that did the heist.
Wow.
He goes after the entire team. It's fantastic. Okay. Flower salesman, a florist, goes after these criminals.
Sounds like
great.
It could be a prickly situation.
It is. Wow. Highly recommended. It's fantastic.
So black and white?
Black and white. It's in the public domain. So
is it really?
Yeah, it is. I looked into it. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, try to find a good print of it online. You know, the YouTube one I remember being pretty grainy. Yeah, buy it. Buy it, but it's streaming on a few different services. You can find them.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I've actually don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But of course, I knew you were gonna go deep.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I knew it. So, and what is the reason? What do you love so much about it?
The heist is really just the setup.
Mm-hmm.
It's the instigating, the inciting incident that kind of sets everything into motion. And so in a way, the story isn't even about the heist. It's about the repercussions of the heist. The heist is what, that's right. It's more of a revenge story.
Okay.
Built around a heist.
Wow.
And it's an unassuming character that you wouldn't think would be, florist. He's, it's kind of the opposite of what we think of as a tough and hardened criminal.
Right.
And it's great. It's a good arc. Really well rendered characters. The locations are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is insane. Mexico, believe it or not.
Mexico, wow, that is crazy.
I believe the heist is in Kansas City.
Kansas
and
City.
then he tracks the criminals down.
Okay, that makes sense.
He tracks the criminals down to Mexico, I believe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it. Love that movie.
Well, cool. I'll have to watch that one because I really enjoy older films that I've never seen.
It's
before.
fantastic. Yeah.
I'll
You'll
check
love it.
Out. Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to start off hard.
Okay.
With mine. I'm going to start very hard with my number 5.
All right.
And it is going to be Die Hard.
Die Hard. Okay.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay.
We're going
together as one unit.
Skip right over to.
Okay. I had a feeling you would put Die Hard on there.
Yeah.
Another good reason for me to skip it.
It is. It is because it is it is the go-to. It is a fantastic film. If you don't know what it is, I can't believe you're watching this show.
Yeah, we're past the statute of limitations.
Exactly. So, the original story tells that of a New York police officer who flies out to California to be with his estranged wife over the holidays. Goes to a Christmas party at Nakatomi Plaza.
That's right.
That is then heisted by Hans Gruber.
But we don't know that at first.
We
think it's a terrorist event.
Yes, that's very true.
Really well played.
Yeah, ho, he's got a gun now.
Now have a machine gun.
So I love that one. It's great. It's like you said, it is the litmus test that so many others are put.
One of the greatest villains of all time, Hans
Yes,
Gruber.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
But skipping to and going straight to Die Hard with a Vengeance. I really, really enjoyed this one. Again, spoiler on this one. Not so much the heist, even though it was a great heist. I mean, underground dump trucks full of gold. But the characterizations and the portrayals by Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
As Zeus.
The water jug puzzle, all those things.
So good. And then to find out who the head guy is at the end, and you're like, oh, this is revenge. And then, oh, it's not. It's just about money again, But there's so many great little plots to it, especially like when they get into the elevator and he looks down and he sees all the combat boots.
Yes, that's
he
right.
He knows what something's going on.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
It is. It really is. So I would definitely
peak
tell you,
Bruce Willis, that whole run.
Yes. Yeah. 2 just has a completely different feel to it. And for whatever reason, call me whatever, the point where they pull the hand grenade and throw it into the airplane, it goes on for so long. Yeah. And it's like
I haven't seen it in
29
ages.
seconds or something, and it doesn't take that long for a grenade.
Right.
And that's always, even as a kid.
Yeah, time your grenades properly, kids.
It really is. It's so
your
important to the story.
And your filmmaking.
So
yeah, okay.
All right. Well, that's my number 5.
Nice. Okay.
We're gonna ready to bounce it back to you, and you tell us what your number 4 is.
Number 4, Taking a Felon 1, 2, 3, the original, the original 1974 version.
Yes.
Love it.
Actually,
love it.
I don't know if it's over here, but I actually found it on DVD not too long ago.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
This is one that I actually hadn't seen until this week.
Really? So you've seen the Travolta one?
No, I hadn't seen any of them.
Either of them.
Hadn't seen any of them.
Did you know there's another one in the 90s?
I believe it. Yeah. It came up. I did some searching just to sort of pull in director names and stuff, and it came up a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Please tell us about it.
But it's one of those movies where I wasn't ignorant to it. I knew what it was about. I knew the premise. Just it's part of the zeitgeist through osmosis. You pick up enough. The whole concept of they're robbing a subway car and all that was sort of baked into the cake. So I knew the gist of it. Everywhere you go, you see posters and everything else. And so I was aware of the movie for a long time. Never did get around to watching it. Finally queued it up. And I just loved it. I loved everything about it.
And it jumped all the way to your number 4.
I loved it.
For not knowing about it.
You know what? It could just be that I haven't seen it twice. I've only seen it the one time.
Oh, that could do it.
For me, a truly all-time great movie has to be rewatchable, but I feel like it will be. So we're going to find out soon. I'll go back. Walter Matthau is incredible. Yeah. He's so good. You can see why he's a star, why he was a star back in his day. And just a really, really fun romp. Who else was really caught my eye? Robert Shaw.
Oh yeah,
Robert Shaw
from Jaws.
Yeah, it's Jaws. That's right. As one of the that's right. As one of the heistmen. He's so good.
This is another one that starts out where you think it's a hostage revenge type thing, and then you quickly find out. It's
it takes a little while for it to build into what it becomes for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some great little twists and turns in it. There's, again, we're past the statute of limitations. I'm going to talk openly about it, but we have a cop hiding within the passengers on the subway car, and You know, when they finally start knocking on doors to try to figure out who got away, all that stuff is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Loved it, and I do plan to revisit it pretty soon, probably within the next couple weeks.
You think you'll go into the remake with Travolta?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's good.
Okay.
I would, if you would have watched it in the reverse order, I think you would probably enjoy it more than you will in the order that you're going to watch it.
Okay.
But it's a solid film, especially, like I said, especially if you don't know how good the original is.
Right.
But that is an
I like
excellent
Travolta
choice.
a lot. Pulp Fiction's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's also in that movie
Saturday Night Fever.
Grease.
Yeah.
Check that. I don't know if you've heard of it, but check it out.
I've never heard of
good.
it. Yeah, never heard of it.
There's no heist, but there is a car race.
All right.
So
Yeah, we
there you
can
go.
rewrite it and put one in there.
We could. Grease 3.
What about you? What do you got for 4?
Greasier.
More grease.
Yeah, more grease. My number 4 is a movie that takes place in a galaxy far, far away, and it's Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
I did not like this movie at all.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's why it's a favorite. And
Can I get a recount?
Yeah.
There's no recount.
Nope. Still a favorite.
All right.
Yeah. This is, for me, one of those films where, okay, we know how it ends. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
And it has one of the best endings of any movie. Not just a Star Wars film, but of any movie ever. But the journey that you go through, and then to find out one of the glaring issues from the first Star Wars movie that everybody's like, well, why would you do that in the way of the port? Gets explained, and explained in what I thought was a very, very logical reason.
Okay.
Somebody had to really sit down and retcon that to make it work.
This was the ejecting of the droids.
No, this was when Luke fires the torpedoes and blows up the Death Star.
Right.
Everybody always wonders, why did you have a big hole like that where you could shoot a torpedo and it would blow the whole thing up?
Yeah.
And then you go back and you find out that the guy who was designing it, who was being forced to, built it in there so that he could get the message out and they could use it to destroy it later on.
Yeah.
So at that time, you're just thinking, wow, man, even as a 7-year-old, I'm like, well, that's stupid.
That's a design flaw.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you find out it was for a reason.
Yeah, it's a good bit of retconning.
It really is. Point. But I could also understand why you maybe not like it as a heist film. But
yeah,
that's...
the character work was flawed for me. The premise and the setting and the world was all great. It was all beautiful. The droid was great.
Oh yeah, Alan Tudyk just did an amazing job.
He really did. The character stuff I just didn't buy. I didn't believe it.
So you didn't believe
the characters were sort of there to service the structure of the plot they needed to follow.
Okay.
In a way. Yeah, none of the characters really struck a chord with me. I didn't really care for any of them. They could have...
None of the alive people, just the robot.
That's right. The robot felt more alive than the humans. But I can see a lot of people love it. Yeah. A lot of people really do love it. And, I'm not afraid to, at some point, go back and revisit it. And,
well, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. That's what this show is all about.
All right.
It's all, you're not wrong. We just look at it differently.
Well, I thank you for giving me that pass, but I know you feel differently.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I'll go back and try it someday. I'll go back and revisit it.
I'd sit down and watch it with you, you know, and point out where you're flawed. I mean, where I think
that'd be
really
helpful.
like.
That would be really helpful because it didn't stick.
Yeah. Boom. What about
that's not bad.
Diverging here a little bit. What about Han Solo? You feel
I liked it. It just didn't feel like Han Solo. It felt like a different character.
Which movie did you like better?
I don't really care to see either one of them again.
Oh, okay.
You know what though? The Chewbacca stuff was fun.
Yeah.
Really good. I thought really good Chewbacca rendering in that one. It felt real.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like the character we know and love.
Okay.
Han Solo felt like. Did you see? You ever watch Young Indiana Jones with Sean Patrick Flannery?
Yeah.
Okay, and then even River Phoenix in part 3. Both of those felt like younger versions of the Harrison Ford character.
True.
In a different way, but they both felt authentic. This younger version of Harrison Ford as Han Solo didn't feel like Han Solo to me.
I will agree with you.
Felt like a different character, but I still liked it. I liked it better than Rogue One, I think.
Yeah. I did think it was kind of interesting that the character developed in front of our eyes. But again, it didn't have that dead on feel. And in the end of it, just
maybe I even feel like had they gone a little bit younger, not as close to age, it would have been not as jarring.
Okay.
You know, that could have worked.
Well,
because they, age wise are pretty close.
Yeah.
You know.
But old Amelia Clark did an amazing job.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
pretty,
and Jarvis.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, anyway, we'll go back to heist movies.
All right. Number 3.
Give me your number 3.
Ocean's 11, the Steven Soderbergh version.
Oh, okay. So you're going new instead of the old school.
Mm-hmm. I didn't care for the old one. I did watch it, the Rat Pack version.
Rat Pack version, yeah.
It's fun. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's fun to hang out with the guys.
Right. It was definitely a way to put them all on the screen.
The Ted Griffin script for the remake was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's a script I read immediately after watching the film back in the day.
Okay.
And fell in love with the script and watched the movie again. And it's one of those movies that does get better and holds up great with rewatches. And it's a movie that if I have some graphic design work to do, if I'm working on a cover or a logo or something, it's one of those movies you can just put on in the background and enjoy it like a great album.
Okay. All right. Which of the 11 is your favorite?
Which of my 11 is the favorite?
Jay Hall hates when I do this, but
I'm gonna maybe go with Bernie Mac. Can't remember the character
Really?
name. He's so much fun.
Okay.
He kind of steals the show every time he's in a scene.
Yeah.
You know?
I like
the whole thing with the vans where he's buying the vans. It's just
Yeah.
so good. The card dealer, he's just fun. He's a really fun actor, and that character in particular is one of my favorite of his.
I enjoyed the Asian guy who was the contortionist.
Oh yes,
I thought he was
the grease
same
man.
Way. Yeah. I thought he was the same way every time he was on the screen. You're just like your eyes are pulled to him and his antics.
I mean the character interaction between all of them, it does feel like they're good friends. It all felt very natural and real, and perfectly directed. Just a wonderful movie.
Yeah. So
and a great heist. I mean,
it is a great heist.
The heist in the end is a little bit absurd, but that's okay in a heist movie because it's it's sort of like a superhero. It's like, can Superman fly? Like you got to give a little bit on the premise, to have fun with it. But I mean, it works. The math works on it.
Okay.
The math checks out on that heist,
and it's important. Yeah,
I do think it needs to work. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So what about 12, 13, and 8?
I like 12 and 13. Never saw 8.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's the joy of the Ocean's property is that cast.
Yeah.
And when you have a whole new cast with a whole new story, it didn't really interest me to see it.
Oh, okay.
I may get around to it at some point, but I also kind of know a little bit of the backstory that it wasn't even an Ocean's 11 script. It was kind of retrofitted to become that.
Really? Okay.
That's the story I heard that was sort of revised to be that.
Yeah.
To slide it into that universe.
Oh, okay.
As you know, everyone wants IP, not originals.
Oh, yeah.
So you take the original, rebrand it, slide it into the IP.
And pa-chang.
Yeah.
There you go.
But people like it, so I may see it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen it either. I don't even think I saw 13. But
yeah, they're fun. The first one's the best, and then 2 and 3 are really fun. Yeah, we're seeing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that. I'll go back.
Yeah.
And
What's your number 3?
Well, my number 3 is you've probably never heard it because I went deep with this one. Just really went into the archives to find. It's called Reservoir Dogs. DOGS, not DAWGS.
Not DOWG.
Okay. No. Reservoir Dogs. It's by a guy. He's got a funny name.
This is not ringing a bell at all.
No,
never heard of any of this.
Okay. Well, anyway.
You know who might know about this is Quentin Tarantino.
He might. He has a great podcast.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And a good book too.
Yeah.
His cinema speculation book is great. He does movie reviews. You should check that one out.
Well, I'll look at it. But anyway, of course, obviously, Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
It's just the way the disjointed feel of the movie where you're jumping between right now and way back and in the middle, and you're looking at the multi-rainbow color of criminals to find out what's going on. And of course,
has that in common with taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
The whole Mr. Blonde, Mr. White.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if that's probably where
it's definitely an influence. Yeah.
But Mr. Fuchsia.
That's right.
Mr. Infrared, though.
I don't remember all the colors names, but there was quite a few of them.
Yeah. And then, of course, the story with the Silver Surfer story is probably one of my
That's
favorites.
fun. Yeah, it's fun.
So it's a great movie. I know that you could talk at length about it. And there's
great movie. Love everything about it. You know what? Too, one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot is the opening scene in the diner. Gives away the whole movie.
I know.
It really gives away. The guy that's the rat is the rat.
Yeah.
Everyone at that opening scene performs in the movie the way they do at that dinner.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I do like the characterization. One of my other favorite, doesn't even have anything to do with the heist, but when the plant is working on the story that he's going to tell while he's at the table, and about the drug dog and all of this stuff, it's cinema genius.
It's great. It's great, and it slowly kind of eases into the real situation and back out, and then the cops show up and time freezes, and it's great. It's almost like a dream.
Yeah,
the whole thing is like in a way, it kind of works the way memory works. You kind of remember a piece, and then this line, and then that other piece kind of comes up, and really well crafted.
And that was really the first big Tarantino film. That's kind of when we got the introduction to what we were going to find out.
That's right,
with his world and stuff. So great film. So
Reservoir
you
Dogs
approve?
Is great. Yeah, I love it.
I get a
love
stamp.
It. I'll allow it.
Gold star.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
God, that is what I'm talking about. That was my number 3.
That's a good one.
Well, we're tearing through this list.
Yeah,
I think we need to put the brakes on for a minute.
Let's do
it. And talk about, I don't know, you. And everything. You literally were on the phone today on a call with the guy who wrote
a
Die
Zoom.
Hard.
I was on a Zoom. Yeah.
He saw your face and you saw his.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a TV pilot I've been working on. That's I'll give a little bit of a teaser of it. It's
just between us.
It's a crime story that is set during Christmas, much like Die Hard. Lethal Weapon, it is sort of a genre in a way. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, same way.
Gremlins.
And so, well, Gremlins isn't a crime film.
No. Have you ever seen Gremlins 2?
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really fun pilot, and I was reluctant. We've swapped scripts a few times before, and he's given feedback, and I would happily give my feedback if he needed it, but he's become a little bit of a mentor of mine, I guess. And so I was really terrified to send it to him because this is his wheelhouse. Unlike the other stuff we've ever shared or talked about, this is really what he's, broken some major ground on.
Yeah.
And it was great. Really good feedback. He loved the script. His understanding of the engine of story and how the pieces are moving to move the other piece and what, the behind the curtain stuff is incredible.
Wow.
He knew exactly what I was trying to do. Even when I didn't do it successfully, he would sort of say, what you meant to do was this, and try putting this here, and this line needs to be more of this, and don't give this away yet.
Okay,
this is important. Don't give it away. Save it for this.
And it's incredible. That's the kind of relationship where you're going.
Incredible.
Okay.
Yes,
sir.
Yes. I will take credit for all of this when it's done.
We're not recording this soon. We're just all good.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
that must be awesome.
It's cool. And if you ever listened to interviews of him talk about the making of Die Hard, and so much of that movie, we look at it now and it's like, we think incredibly well crafted, beautiful structure, a structure everyone wants to steal. What we look at as like an engineered, perfectly designed little thing, so much of it was on the fly, losing locations, and had to, there's so much problem solving throughout the whole thing of trying to get this and get that, and we don't have this actor. And when you hear him tell the story, it's pretty miraculous that they were able to create this finished piece. So much of it happened. Obviously, the writing's incredible, the directing's incredible, but it really came together in the edit.
Yeah,
And you hear people say, you make a movie 3 times, you make it in the script, you make it in the camera, and you make it in the editing bay.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a great example of that because we sort of look at it in hindsight and say, our script needs to be that perfect, but that script wasn't ever that perfect.
Right.
They sort of,
and it's hard.
He
to
tells
get
a
it
great
off the
story
paper,
about it.
Too. I mean,
Absolutely,
you can write something on paper, and then when you put it in real life, it just doesn't happen.
Some things don't work. Some things work better than you think. I mean, I not for this particular movie, but I've heard stories about directors that just couldn't get actors to say the lines.
Really?
Or couldn't get them to say important details that were needed for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Things like
put
that.
them somewhere else.
That's right. You got to just kind of cover it some other way, you know.
Okay.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy out there.
You know, one of the things about that movie that always sticks out with me is when one of the henchmen, when they're setting up for the cops to come in at the first time, and he's at the counter with the candy, and he puts his gun down and reaches and get a candy bar and come back.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just like that 30, not even
great
30
moment,
seconds. It's like, who even thinks to write something like that?
Yeah,
you know?
such a great little moment.
Yeah, it really is. And there's so much in it that, like you say, if somebody who's never seen it looks at it today, they might go, huh, man, well, they do that and that and that. But you got to remember, they were doing it for the first time there. You know? Wow.
And you know what, too? Like creating little moments that raise the stakes and become really important, but also you can transform them into wonderful character moments. It's like the whole thing about, you know, later in the movie when he's running barefoot, he doesn't have his shoes on.
Yeah.
Right. Great character work. Like watching him suffer through that is incredible. Why doesn't he have his shoes on? Earlier in the story, he talks to the guy in the plane that says, take your shoes off and put your toes on the rug. So instead of just him being tired and taking his shoes off, there's now a lore about why he's taking his shoes off, and it becomes a great character thing in this interaction with the guy on the plane, and, you know, building all those little pieces out, things that you set up, you know, in the opening scene that don't pay off until the end. And, you know, that stuff is just brilliant. I call it planting seeds. You know, you just drop these little seeds in and they grow throughout the project and become something big. Yeah. Wonderful. That movie's filled with them.
I think there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
in that
there's
movie.
a lot.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. You've done some amazing stuff. I mean,
I've done a few interesting things.
Sweets,
Sweets.
You know, just phenomenal.
People like Sweets, thankfully.
Punks
the comic, with Josh Fialkoff, my old buddy Josh. That's a really fun one.
You did an issue of 1602.
Yes,
the Marvel series.
Yeah. Angela did that. Halo, worked on Halo.
Right. And Trace Atkins?
Trace Atkins, the Luke McBain project, that 12 gauge.
And then you did that little TV show. What's it called? The Oscars. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You did some work for
91st Academy Awards. That was fun.
That was so cool. So if I remember, it's when Black Panther was up for Best Picture.
Best Picture.
And all of the Best Pictures had...
Stan Lee had passed away that year.
That's true.
And Spider-Verse was up for Best Animation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an overall Marvel-esque theme.
So you were able to take the screenshots from movies and turn them into comic panels and vice versa.
That's right.
And just beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you.
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, and one day I'm going to have the panel that has the Oscar drawn as the bit, but I'm going to have it in here. One day.
Yeah. You know, I snuck that one past the goalie. I did the whole thing was done in comic book style, and at the end I threw one in that wasn't part of the outline. I threw one in of the Oscar done in the style of Jack Kirby's Silver Surfer.
With the crackle.
That's right, with the crackle and everything. And I don't know that anyone at the network knew what I was doing, or if they paid. No one ever commented on it. Like, they weren't ignorant of it. I mean, they could have been aware of it. They just never told me if they were.
Right.
But the fans loved it. I got comments on it, and people
awesome.
really.
I think it should be a print. I really do.
Yeah, it could be a print. Yeah.
One of these days.
The Golden Surfer.
Oh, what?
That was a fun one. And I just did a project with Warren Ellis for a rocket ship. That one came up on Kickstarter and did really well.
Based on an amazing old-time radio show. Yes.
Yeah, really fun. That one's all drawn. I'm doing the final. It's not coming out for another couple months when I'm doing the final lettering and color tweaks, but it's ready to go.
Yeah,
that one's fun.
And so it's an anthology too, right?
Yeah, a lot of talents in the book. I can't even name everybody that's in it, but give it a look. Lights Out, the comic book by
and it's on Kickstarter
Rocket Ship
right now.
The Kickstarter ended, but you may still be able to order it.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll do the extended. You can keep ordering until the print run goes out.
Right.
So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but then it'll be out. You can find it.
Yeah, my buddy Tom is actually running the Kickstarter, so he's kind of. I just drew it.
Well, we'll have links and stuff at the end of the show. So
we can find that one.
Yeah, and you've also got a class going, right?
I do. I teach kid classes every Tuesday. I teach what I call drawing and cartooning for kids, and so we do a little bit of everything. I mean, I teach real drawing and real art.
Okay.
In the process of letting them draw monsters and silly things like that, so we kind of slide it in there real less. So I teach them color theory and design and some anatomy and all those things. And we just published our first comic for the class.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's called Framed, And it's an anthology, so all the stories are short, little 7 or 8 page stories, and it's a blast. The kids did incredible.
That's awesome. And that's here in the Lafayette area, so people can find out about that, and they can send their kids to it.
We don't yet have it online, but I will be putting it up online. I just wanted to get clearance from all the parents first before we put it up.
Okay.
And so hopefully this week or next we'll get that up.
And what's the age range?
The kids in the class range from 8 to 17.
8 to 17. Okay.
I do 2 different classes, so younger and older. And they're a blast. We hang out every week for 45 minutes for each class, and we just go crazy. Right now, we're working on T-shirt stuff. They're doing original T-shirt designs. Next project, going into the new year, we're doing children's books.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be fun. Big, 2-page spreads and real big art.
Yeah, and one of the coolest things I've always enjoyed, your son Lucas, who's actually been on the show.
Yeah.
He was on the Christmas episode. You do a comic book for him every year for his birthday.
For his birthday, yeah. Yeah, except this year. I didn't do one this year.
What was that?
Deadlines are just brutal. But I made it all the way from 1 to 12, the 12 years straight. And then
a good streak.
So the compromise I made with him is this coming year we'll do like a double edition. We'll do a big one, and then I'll try to find all the previous versions and put them in one book.
That would be cool,
because they're all separate little comics. So we're gonna try to put them all together.
Right. Well, he's outgrowing everything, so why shouldn't it?
Oh, he was like, "Where's my comic? You need to make sure."
I meant clothes.
He's on board. Yeah, he's on board. Yeah,
this kid has grown like 2 feet over the summer.
Yes, he's like 7 foot tall. It's ridiculous.
Man. Yeah. I was laughing at all of y'all because he was getting taller than y'all, and I was like, oh. Yeah. The other day I saw him, and I was like, hey, man, how's it going?
I mean, he's starting to do hand-me-down clothes to me, So, but I think that's about over too now because he's a big kid.
Wow. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, good. Cool. I am so excited to hear about it. And again, we'll have all of that at the end of the episode and in the show notes. Okay. So where you can find Kody, and he's got some amazing blogs and everything possible you could think of.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all that too.
X. Did you do Blue Sky yet?
I am on Blue Sky. I'm not loving it, but I am on there.
Yeah. I'm on it too.
We should connect on Blue Sky.
We should.
Yeah, give me a reason to stay on.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. I'll do that. All right. But until then, how about I give you a reason to talk about your penultimate choices?
Where's the graphic? Oh, there it is.
Nobody says penultimate.
Well, thank you.
That is really cool.
I try. You want to give it a try?
Well, can I go the other way?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to go like this.
Penultimate.
That is beautiful.
How'd
you do that?
Well, it's a little magic.
All right.
It's a little magic. I mean,
I'm impressed. I didn't realize you had this sort of production.
I was 91 and hungry for a while. So, come on. What do you expect?
All right. Are you ready to jump in?
I am ready to jump in. Both feet. Give us your penultimate, your number 2.
Yes.
Your second favorite.
Number 2 is The Town.
Oh, I watched this because of you.
Directed by Ben Affleck. It's perfect. It's
wonderful. Watched it and when we were at the cabin. Right? Because I'd never seen it before.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did watch it at
this is the one where it's like the football field,
baseball,
ambulance, baseball. Yeah.
The Red Sox.
That was a great movie.
Wonderful movie.
Yeah.
Incredible performances, great script. It really had, like, for a modern film, it really had a 70s kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Great crime films of the 70s. Just a beautiful movie. I didn't expect to honestly, going into this, I wasn't a huge Ben Affleck fan.
Yeah.
I saw Chasing Amy and all that stuff, and it's all not really for me. It was fine, but not really for me. And so I kind of blew him off a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of discounted his skill.
And then you
as a
saw
filmmaker.
Batman vs Superman. You were like,
I haven't seen that one. Not a big superhero guy, but I will say I was wrong about Ben Affleck.
Okay.
He's a hell of a director. He gives a crazy good performance, and that's the film that really turned me on him, and I'm a fan. Oh. Argo was great. He's done a lot of great stuff since. But that was the one that sort of turned it for me, and I'm glad that I turned quick enough to see it in theater.
Mm-hmm.
Because I almost didn't go to the theater to see it. I'm glad I did.
Wow. Yeah. And the story about it, real quick.
It's a heist story. It's about these guys in Boston that take down trucks, and it's a really close group of friends. It might be a good time to talk about my unofficial trilogy.
Okay.
That involves a town.
Let's do it, because that's a great story.
So if you watch Good Will Hunting,
right,
it's about this group of friends that live in Boston, and one of them is wicked smart. Right, that's the Matt Damon character.
The other guy has a car. He drives down to the park.
That's right. He goes to the POC. So we think he's leaving to go off and be with the girl.
Right.
But he doesn't. He leaves, joins the CIA, and becomes Jason Bourne.
And murders her.
Maybe.
We
don't know.
Because you don't see her again.
But he becomes Jason Bourne with the Bourne identity.
That's right.
Ben Affleck stays home with the boys. They're broke.
Yeah.
They start robbing trucks. That becomes the town.
Okay.
So that's my unofficial Ben Affleck trilogy. Checked out the Matt Damon Ben Affleck trilogy.
And really, you think about it,
they all work great together.
Bigger than a trilogy because the Bourne goes on. What, he's got 4 or 5?
Yeah, you can keep going. You can keep going with those. Yeah.
Yeah.
But those 3 together work incredibly well.
That's awesome.
And they sort of all pivot off of Good Will Hunting.
That's kind of like the whole Chud is a prequel to Home Alone.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Same exact thing. Yeah. Totally the same thing. Yeah. And Goodfellas as well. Tommy.
There you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, he goes into prison enough times. You know, he meets some guys, joins the mafia, gets made.
There you go.
Yeah, it all works.
There you go. Have you been seeing the meme now where it's the scene from, I think it's Casino, where Joe Pesci gets brought into the room where he's supposed to get made and there's nobody in there? Yeah, I've been seeing that being used. For
that's Goodfellas.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
That's good.
That's it.
That's a hell of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I know you
Poor
think
Tommy.
less of me now.
It's like, oh, no. Yeah, so good.
Wow.
Tommy, what a great character.
Yeah.
What a great character that is.
Yeah, Pesci's, my cousin Vinny is just...
He's great.
I love my... And, of course, Aunt May. Woof.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Aunt May.
that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a great pick, though. I like that.
You like the town?
Yeah, and I think we'll have to watch that trilogy because... You know, it's
yeah,
fantastic.
I mean that's a triple feature. You know, cue that up on a Sunday afternoon.
Do you do the Bourne before you do the town, or does it make a difference?
I would do it in this order. I would do Good Will Hunting, then the Bourne Identity, and then the town.
Okay.
Because I think Good Will Hunting and the town are better films, and so those are my bookends.
Okay.
And the Bourne Identity, also a great film, but the Bourne Identity is in the middle.
So would you call it Good Will Hunting Jason Bourne in the town?
Bourne Will Hunting, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Hunting Jason in the town.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, really.
Okay.
Jason Bourne town.
Jason Bourne in the town was hunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a good mashup
Will
in there
Jason
if you look for it.
Hunt in the town.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
anyway. We're gonna workshop this a little bit more. We're gonna get it.
Spitball.
How about you? You got a penultimate?
I do.
Penultimate.
It's actually a movie by Zack Snyder, and it's called Army of the Dead.
Oh, I like Army of the Dead.
Yes, I thought you would because it's not a zombie movie. It is a heist movie that has zombies in it.
The setting is a zombie universe.
It's it's amazing. So if you're not familiar with the movie, you should find it. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot part
of fun.
what's supposed to end up being a trilogy. Because I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a prequel that takes place with the safecracker. That's really great. If you've never seen it, it's the same actor and everything. And you remember how he's talking about there's like these safes that are the perfect safes in the world at one point. Anyway, he breaks into one of them in this first movie.
Okay.
And as it's happening, you can see stuff on TVs and stuff where the zombie outbreak is starting in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, it's a great movie about
also Zack Snyder.
Also Zack Snyder. Yeah. Oh well, he doesn't direct this one though.
Okay.
I think he produces it.
Got it.
But so zombie outbreak happens in Vegas. They're able to wall the city off or wall downtown off to keep most of the zombies inside.
Shipping containers.
Yes. So what a great idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
And they decide that they're going to have a heist to break into the casinos and walk away with $200 million.
That's right. It's Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, we're outside of Vegas.
And it doesn't quite work out that well for everybody. It's got some great characters. You got Dave Bautista's in there.
Siegfried and Roy's tiger.
Oh my god,
it's in there.
So his zombie tiger.
Yeah, zombie tiger, so good.
But it's just a very well crafted film. And if you're not a fan of Zack Snyder, that's okay. I think you should. If you're not a fan of zombies, that's okay. I still think you should give this movie.
I worked with Zack Snyder.
I know you did.
That? Okay.
I'm sick of it. I really am.
Yeah.
It just.
I did a concept art on Black Freighter segment of Watchmen.
That's right. I have it in there. I bet one day I need to get you to sign it.
Did I give you what did I get? What do you?
No, I have the DVD.
Oh, the DVD.
Yeah,
okay, the director's cut. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one to see. Watch the director's cut. It's fantastic.
Yes. It's with the. You should do commentary on that one day. That's what we got to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can sit down and watch it and talk about it.
Black Freighter?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
it's
fun.
It's a great movie, and I know it's not the standard type of heist film because of all the zombies and everything else going on. But I think it's just like anything else. There's dangers when you're doing the heist,
right?
And these just happen to maybe eat you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely
it's a really interesting structure too, the way it all comes together. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good pick.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All
right. Well, we have gone through our honorable mentions, the movies that we won't mention, and
the unmentionables.
The unmentionables, which I watch on Saturday nights. But now we are at your ultimate, your favorite, your absolute number one heist film.
Are you ready for this?
I am so ready for this.
Heat, Michael Mann.
Of course.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Of course.
It's magical in the performances and the direction, the dialogue, the shootout scenes in the street, the work inside the banks, everything about it. Yeah, the sound design is incredible. Also, I mean, the relationships, the friendships between the guys, and we have the Robert De Niro character kind of falling in love with this graphic designer. Hits close to home as a recovering graphic designer myself. It's great. I mean, everything about them. It's one of those films where, every movie that I love and that I consider to be one of the all-time greats, almost all of them has something about it that rubs me the wrong way. Like, for example, Seven. Okay. Love Seven. Almost a perfect movie. At the very end, the helicopter pilot screaming into the mic just makes me go insane. Like, really? I just hate it. I almost want to turn the movie off every time we get to the very last scene. So even like in that movie's a perfect 10. I love it. Okay. But there's still that one little rub.
So it's a 9.9.
It has that one little rub to it. Heat does not have that for me.
Really?
I can't find that in Heat. I've looked for it. I've watched it a million times. For me, it's a perfect movie. It has flaws, but even the flaws are charming, and I like them.
For example, what's one flaw? Can I put you on the spot?
Yes, the concept that these guys are the best in the world, and they're taking down banks, and they're just beasts, and there's shootouts in the streets. There's a very small police effort to go after them.
Okay,
right. So it would be a much bigger scale effort to go after these guys.
It's kind of the Pacino.
That's right, the Pacino chase. There's some other guys involved, but it's really Pacino going after him.
Right.
And you want that in a good heist film, The Town has the same thing. You have the John Hamm character, kind of going at him, So you don't want to just fill the screen with bodies for the whole movie. Right. You want that great characterization. So I get it. I get why they did it. But again, it's charming. It's great because we want Al Pacino to do every scene as that character. Like, we want as much Al Pacino as we can get. Okay. So even that I considered a story flaw, but very charming and something I love about the film. Hooah! That's right. Okay. Love it. Awesome. Perfect movie.
Okay, well, I was amazed.
What about you?
I was thinking it was going to be your number one.
Okay.
But let me rephrase that.
And you've seen it.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, right. That's one of my brother's favorite movies, and I've watched it because of him. I watched it in California. I now have it on DVD. I've watched it again. As a matter of fact, I watched it not too long ago. I watched just the whole shootout scene after the bank robbery because I'm doing an episode with a new guest, Everett, and we're doing gun battles. And so I had to go back.
That's a good one.
It. Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's probably going to make the list somewhere.
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah, it's
the finale.
Yeah,
all right,
already on the list.
Just making sure.
We actually talked about this at one point. It was a one-off. I think we were at dinner with a big group, and I asked you about, what's your favorite gunfight. And I think that's what you told me.
I love it. Yeah. A lot of people mistake it for a standoff. It's not. It's not a standoff. No. It's a plan coming together.
Mm-hmm. And you love it when a plan comes together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yep, this is true.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what do you got? What's your number one?
Mine. I think this is going to surprise you. But a lot of people tell me that always my number ones are kind of like, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. This one is steeped in nostalgia. And this is actually not the heist is actually led by two people, but there is a whole game behind them.
Okay.
And these were two masterminds, Theodore Ogilvy and Amos Tucker, who are trying to steal a huge hunk of gold that was loosened in Quake City, California. but it's being held in a bank in a safe. And the people who are trying to get into it are the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh, okay. And that's the title, Apple Dumpling Gang.
You never heard of Apple Dumpling
I've
Gang?
never seen. I've heard the title. I've never seen it.
It's Tim Conway and Don Knotts.
I do love Tim Conway.
This movie came out in 1975. It's a Disney movie. They actually have the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again.
Okay.
Bill Bixby.
Great. Okay.
Is a gambler. Yeah. He's a gambler who ends up in this town, Quake City. It's a bust town, and is tricked into taking responsibility for these kids. And the kids actually after a quake, find this huge nugget of gold. And they end up, of course, then now he wants to stay.
Right.
And so they take it and put it in the bank. Well, the kids in their Disney minds come to the consideration that if they sell the gold, then Bill Bixby's character is going to take it and leave.
Okay.
So they get Theodore and Otis to, hey, if you go into this bank, you can steal our gold. Mm-hmm. And you can get away with it, and we'll get to keep our family together.
Okay.
That's happened. And so there's this whole amazing scene. It's very much of
about what
Buster
year was
Keaton,
this?
75.
75. Okay.
That we're kind of a Buster Keaton moment where they're going to steal the ladder off of the fire truck, fire wagon, to get into the bank. And just those two guys, they're so amazing. And they 2 or 3 different times they try to get into the bank. At one point they end up on the ropes and everything goes bad, and in the morning when they open the bank up, they're hanging kind of like a chandelier in the middle of the bank because they can't get out. So it's not at the level of any of these movies that we've talked about, but it's one of those movies that I can remember going to the theater to see. Very, very, I was 5 maybe when I saw it. But it was also one of those movies that in like 5th grade, like 4th, 5th grade, I can remember them pushing the cart into the room at school. The AV cart. Yeah. And that was one of the movies that we got to watch. And I always found it very confusing because in Colonel Potter, Sherman Potter, from MASH.
Yeah.
That actor is in both that movie and in the sequel, but he plays different characters. So
great.
Even as a kid, I'm like, oh, it's the mayor. Wait, who is this guy?
Okay.
Yeah. But I love it. I have a copy over there in beta, so I don't get to watch it that often. But I actually watched it for this show again, and you know what?
It holds up.
Still holds up. Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah.
The heist is fun.
I found of all the comedians of that era, Tim Conway holds up really well.
Yes,
his stuff really does hold up.
Have you ever seen Private Eyes?
I did see Private Eyes, yeah.
I love that
was
movie.
like early VHS when we first started kind of renting.
I love that movie. And it was the two of them, and they were spectacular.
Yeah, they're always good. Always so good.
So, I just...
Even Dorf, as dumb as it is, I love some Dorf, Give me all
I've been working on a Carol Burnett episode as well.
Yeah.
And Mr. Higgins is just...
Yeah, it's good
amazing.
stuff. That's good stuff.
So
miss that guy.
That's it. Apple Dumpling Gang.
All right.
You gonna go out and watch it now?
I will. I want to see that one.
Okay, it's on the Disney Channel. You can watch it there.
On the Disney Channel. Perfect. Even better.
Awesome. Well,
because I don't have a beta player.
Oh, you don't?
I don't have a Betamax player now.
I don't have it on CED anymore.
Yeah.
But no, okay. You can watch it on Disney. Yeah, just the same.
Okay.
Well, that is awesome.
Good show. Good podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I've been waiting, and now I kind of feel bad that I kept dodging your calls.
Yeah.
But
maybe next time don't wait so long, to ring me back.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Well, let's plant the seed. What's the next one?
Okay. Oh, look at you. Okay.
I mean, I got, 4 or 5 years from now, we'll have a window, I'm sure.
I would seriously like to do a complete disarray episode where we sit down and go over Black Freighter at some point. So you don't have to make a list or do anything. We can just sit there and you can talk about it while we watch it. But as far as this, what's another thing that you really like? It doesn't have to be movies.
Okay.
I'm doing a Longmire episode with somebody.
Nice. All right.
What else?
Let's talk it over. We'll figure it out.
How about favorite detectives?
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah.
We could do TV or movie, because if we do just one, then we could do a follow up to it.
Yeah.
We do movies first. Let's do TVs first. Favorite TV detectives.
All right. We could do
Boom.
that.
You heard it here
Done.
first, folks.
Lock it in.
Locked in.
Put it on the schedule.
I'll probably write it in pencil though.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah. That works.
Well, thank you all so much out there.
Thank you for watching.
Podcast Universe. We really appreciate it. And
are they watching or listening or both?
Both. So, so for some people, they will be able to, like Spotify, you'll be able to watch it straight through the app.
Okay.
Or you can go to YouTube and you can watch us.
Makes
or
sense.
you can close your eyes and you can just listen to us.
Okay.
Now, if you do that, you're not going to get the penultimate experience.
Yeah.
But
okay,
still, you'll get it.
Yeah. Or maybe just read the transcript.
Oh, that would be so good.
Know? Yeah.
You know, there's actually a device that you can put down, and if you're sight impaired, it will make the dots go across under your fingers. Yeah. I think that's so cool. Technology, man.
You know, quick memory. I used to eat lunch, and I used to go to USL. Which
Did you wash your hands under the fountain that came in the middle, and when you'd step on it? And that was so cool.
I don't recall, but that sounds familiar.
It's your memory. Go ahead.
But I used to eat lunch in the conference room, conference hall, whatever it was called, cafeteria, the conference center cafeteria.
Conference center.
That was my cafeteria that we were
CCC.
We were designated to eat at, and there was an elevator.
Okay.
And so every once in a while, a friend was living in the dorms. We'd go up to a room and watch Simpsons or whatever. And I remember I was in the elevator once in the conference center, and there was a braille for the visually impaired to kind of know what floor they were going to. It was behind glass. I'm not joking. It was behind a sheet of glass. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. I took a picture of it at some point because it was so... I went home, got the camera, went back to the conference center that day and took a picture of it because it was one of the most incredible things I'd ever seen.
I noticed you didn't do it
Genius
on your
level.
cell phone while you were there because...
No, this was... This wasn't even digital camera. This would have been my
35
my little
millimeter.
Canon. Yeah, my little Canon.
Yeah. It is nuts what some people will do.
Yeah, good Braille moment though. That's my favorite Braille moment.
That is awesome. I like that. You know, one of the most amazing things I ever found, because we have that place here in Lafayette that it teaches the people to teach the blind.
Yes.
And one of the ways to do your money, well, of course, one thing they do is they buy like an embosser and you put your money in and you put it whatever. But people will fold their money into different shapes.
The folds, yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I've seen that. I've seen people checking out and paying with that money folded.
It's cool.
In certain ways.
It's amazing. You know, they're always find a way.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
I appreciate it. So, out there in the podcast universe, we appreciate you. We know that you have a choice in podcasts, and yet you still chose this one. So
it's amazing.
It really is, you know. So, again, if you're in Hungary, thank you for making us number 91.
Oh. Yeah. Are you number 91 in Hungary?
Not anymore, but I was.
Okay.
At one point. So I always have to give a shout out because they still show up on my little pie. So.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. That is really cool.
Well, I appreciate it. So we're thrilled that you joined us, and we really hope that if you did like the show, that you'll tell a friend. Tell somebody in the line when you're getting groceries. You're filling up with gas.
Absolutely, yeah.
Person across from you. Yeah. And listen, we're totally... I understand this show may not be for everybody. But if you sat through it and you didn't like it...
It's my fault. It's on me.
I'm okay if they lie.
Yeah.
I'm okay if they go
on even better.
Even better. Just listen to this episode and it's the greatest thing since Betty White.
That's right.
Because... she actually predates sliced bread. Yeah. So she was anyway. So the karmic implications of your lying can fall on me. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
It's a nice white lie.
Thank you.
It's helpful.
I appreciate it. A little lie. Don't forget that we are on the social medias, like we were telling. Kody's on it. I'm on it. We hope that you'll engage with us and help to make this podcast universe community bigger and brighter. And don't forget, we have new episodes that come out every Friday, unless they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Things happen,
Sometimes Friday the 13th.
That's this Friday.
Yeah.
So,
who knows?
Who knows? I'm actually ready for it. I got my podcast all done, set. It's going to go right out.
Is it about Friday the 13th?
No. Oh. No. But I am working on Valentine's Day for next year already. So that's going. I'm going to have two. I'm going to have The week before, it's going to be broken-hearted love songs.
Okay.
And then the next one's going to be love songs.
Oh.
I may make the whole thing. I may make rom-com. I may do the whole month of February about love.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
I like that.
Yeah. I think I've decided.
What about,
That's
what about
I'm gonna do.
meet cute? You should do a meet cute.
What's that?
That's like when in movies and TV shows when people meet in a really interesting and creative way. They fall in love. You know, the meet cute.
Listen, we're friends, but
Yeah. I'm a storyteller. You got to know these terms. You know, it's part of the
I
DNA.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet cute.
Okay. I'll put that down.
Yeah. Write that down. Look that up.
All right.
That's a term.
So,
it's written.
What? Where's it written?
It's written.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you like to read it? I always read this. Do you want to read it?
I'll try.
Try and read that.
And
Give it
remember,
gusto.
Huh?
Give it gusto.
All right. And remember, folks, it may not be the best. It may not be the most popular. But if it's your favorite, then it's good enough for us. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Good night.